So simply this video just because as of right now, structure for me is really I feel like I'm understanding it a lot good, and I really want to continue on to this. I feel like a couple weeks ago I was really this is how good I understood it, and then again I think I just kind of I don't know I think I overcomplicated a bit more, and I kind of forgot it, and I feel like right now it kind of came back to me a bit, and I just understand it a lot better. So if I am correct, I really want to make sure I understand this. I can come back and watch this video whenever I need to, but simply just focus on structure. Right? Structure is the main thing at this point in time. I feel like okay, so currently we have two positions in. This is how confident I feel about this right now, just because we have two positions in. So starting off off the H1 time frame. Right? Off H1, we don't have much going on right now. At the highest point, I do project that this here would be my TP1. This here would be my TP1. And this should be my TP2. That being said, H1 will have much on them based off H1 is that we aren't really breaking this resistance right here. As you can still being tested. Not only that, but we did have this minor break of support here, super small, but still being able to see. So we kind of transitions to a small extent, and this is kind of where I entered sales because technically this would be a lower high point, right? So kind of a high, lower low, and then lower high point at this point in time. And then let's jump down to the what was this on the M5. Yes. M5 structure time frame. So as you guys can see, we're looking lows or highs, lows or highs. We ended up breaking this lower high point here. This is right here. Ended up breaking this small shift here is that small shift. Right? It's very minor shift based on P5. The reason why we're a bit more bullish is why I have this little higher low here because technically it's kind of a big push, higher high, higher low. But we didn't break this main high here. That would have shifted. That would have continued overall structure based off of the H1 like here. That would have been the break, and we didn't even get it based off the M5, which kind of showed me that we're still within this downtrend. Right? If we would have broken that level, it would have been a bit different, and that would have been a lot more bullish. But because we didn't do that, we're still slightly bearish, right? And what I mean by that is we still broke these low high points here, which is nice. Still put this higher low point here. So based off M5 structure, this main support as I put here has to break. We have to break this. Until then, it's technically still bullish at this point, and we can easily get a nice big push up. So I did enter these sell positions, understanding that at the end of the day, we still have to break this support here for M5 to even be considered like somewhat of a transition. And this is like a higher low point if we were to fit this out right here. That there would be a like 61 point here retracement. The reason why I put this not seeing but still valid is because when we go on H1, technically this push here, we don't see no lower high point. Right? There's no lower high point being correlated whatsoever. That's like this bullish is really valid. But if we come down to 5, we still have lower high points being broken, which still makes this trend pretty much valid on only H1. I mean only on M5. That's the only reason why. So this is why we still need a break. But so for example, if this bullish trend here, if these lower high points were also correlated based on H1, I would have been a bit more bullish. I would have needed more. I would have needed to see also a correlated break of support for me to truly trust in that. But because this higher low point isn't even seen. Well, these lower high points aren't even seen, then this higher low point also doesn't really need to be seen for it to be broken based on M5. As and just in this situation here. So because of that, I understood that these are still right here, as you guys can see, lower high, and then potentially with this exhaustion could form another lower high to overall break the support and give us a lower low. Okay, so the reason why I entered was basically solely up here on M1. As you guys can see here, based on that, when I had entry position here, based off the fact that we're creating lower high points here, right? So we're creating a lot of lower high, exhaustion. We're creating a lot of exhaustion here, and then basically based on here, I said that okay, we got this big push up, kind of with a little high here, push up. So I wanted to see at least something of a correlated break. So this is support. Once we close underneath, I wanted to wait for this candle here to form, right? Because that would have been kind of like the lower low, lower high, and then push down. So this is why I entered based off this candle here. And essentially, I still wanted to see what does break this because this was like a small break, but I understood the potential and kind of my risk reward. If they did kind of break like it did, we would have been in a good position, right? So that's kind of what happened. I was kind of watching this here. Once I seen these two right here break, once I see this candle close underneath this candle, bearish, I knew that we had broken this furrow. So based off M1, we had transition solely off. We had transition bearish. And that made me feel a lot more confident, right? And then I had entered once again here. This was another lower high point because, like I said before, from point A to point B, this was a big push, and this kind of had came up, qualifying this for a true lower high point. So I kind of entered here. This is kind of these two were kind of like that variation, but there was a lot of wick right here. Exhaustion wick. So I wanted to wait a bit more, and that's when I kind of entered based off this exhaustion here, letting me know there's a lot more. If that buying pressure was not there, basically came all the way down. I entered, and that was my second position, right? So now where we're at, as you guys can see, we're still kind of floating around this. We went all the way back down, all the way back up. I'm still bearish for the main fact that we had this support here. This up here. Maybe they're breaking that right here, right? Bearish. Then I have point A to point B. Oh, I already have it flipped out. Bearish. Okay, so bearish. As we see that we're back into this golden. This is called my golden zone. So we hit it once, came back down, hit it again, and looking like we can potentially. Hopefully, this can be a nice little double top and push down. But until technically this area here, this main area here, until this area here is broken, I would still be, I would solely be still bearish. Until this is broken, I'm still going to be bearish. So until this level here is broken above, that's when I would kind of exit my order, right? Can't take profits or just cut them for losses. I'm still holding them. Right? I could have taken profits here. I think it was up about. I think the max was up about $50 based off these two orders here. But like I said, I still think that we still have a lot of potential to continue to push down, especially look at this exhaustion. Right? This is how still about 2 minutes left. But the way this is looking, we could start lower high, and potentially create that bearish selling pressure to essentially get this break that we need to truly break this whole entire uptrend kind of structure back into that sort of type of structure. Now, with that being said, once we do break this main support here, I'm still going to hold. Like I said, these are 0.0 here. 0.5 right now, so it's not much. As you guys can see, I feel like I'm barely getting my confidence back, so I don't want to. It's kind of just testers, right? I don't like demo. I feel like this is still money that I'm losing, so it's still real, but it's very, very small money, not much. So I feel like this is a good tool in a way to help me really get used to this, right? So now with that being said, if we do break this main support, I would still be holding, but structure here would be a lot different, meaning that we could go into negative potentially if this was to have a deep retracement. So if we were to get this, we need this break first, right? Once we get that break first, then technically it would be 0.8 into wherever it makes that support. Right, let's just say like somewhere here. Technically, it can retrace all of this. It can still retrace all this, maybe into another golden zone, maybe within all this exhaustion here. Right, it can be a nice influencer right here, and still sell down. Especially too if this here, based off this H1, let's see here. We have a nice engulfing, right? Nice engulfing, beautiful engulfing. We have seller buyer's exhaustion though here. But this engulfing here, like we just said, we put in 5. It's not really valid just yet because we don't really have a break. We don't have that break yet to really feel confident in that engulfing. But like I said, all we need here at this point in time is just slowly a break. If you can get a break of support, that would make me feel a lot better into kind of holding this, and I would even enter more positions right once we get that lower high that we kind of are looking for. But first step right here, right now, is to obviously break this level. If we don't break that level, and then on M1, we end up breaking this support, like I said here. And we end up breaking this support here. We end up breaking this resistance here. Then I will cut my interest for loss. And that's the only reason why I'm still holding. It's not good for sticking it. Understanding that, okay, from point A to point B, because technically it did already hit our TP for this little move here, what it did. If we were to, actually, I think it was point A to point B. Well, see, technically already hit TP. And we're technically kind of going down for TP2. So yeah, that's kind of my reasoning for all this here. Let's see how it ends up playing out. It's currently 8:11, so technically we're just entering Asian session right now. But I still think that we can have a good pressure, especially with all this buyer exhaustion, whole lot of exhaustion, making that low high point. So let's just see how that kind of plays out. But right now we do have a slight higher low point here. I feel like it'll so within these next couple of games for sure. But like I said, until we break that level, until we break this level here, even if we break this here, that will show a lot more buying pressure. Yes, it obviously comes below a high point, but once again, this is 100%. This here is what makes this whole trend here. So I'm sticking to my guns. Let's just say the thing out. We understand the reasoning, we understand why we're doing this. And yeah, so that's what we're doing. Till then, yeah, so even if we get this break here, boom, and we look for that lower high point here. Somewhere here, once we kind of push it down. And once we retrace it, we look for the lower high point to pushing it back to the downside, right? And technically our overall take profit, like I said before, would be here, is up here. And then this one here, TP1, TP2. TPs that we got. Secondly, based off H4, if we look at this based off H4 time frame, overall this is still a big trend. Higher low, higher high. This zone here matches up with the 61 a little bit. So yes, that's the reason. And once we kind of hit these TPs, and that's when we'll exit out. Essentially for what is now.